All the knives are gone. So today I went out and bought 2 pieces of hardwood and we're going to make a chopping board. So I've never made a chopping board and I thought it was a bit of a YouTube woodworking ritual to do one. So cheaply I went to the hardwood cut-off shop around the corner from my house and bought a piece of maple and a piece of white oak, and I think I'm going to do a really simple one. I'm going to cut this board in half, cut this board in half, and do an alternating strip. Just 4 pieces, and then glue up. I think I've got the clamps for it, and then sand, and hopefully I don't need a planer because I do not have one. This board already had one edge that was square, which made it easy to square up the opposite side. I actually went back and cut off the other edge because it had sort of a rough live edge look. I then had to cut my walnut piece to size. I then decided to trim off the edge of the walnut to make everything nice and smooth. So all I'm going to do next is grab a pencil and find the centre of each board and cut straight down the centre of each one. Right now this is what we've got. I'm going to do an alternating pattern. I'm slightly worried because it's not as flat as I wanted it to be, but I'm sure we can sort that out later. So I've just marked up a waist point where I'm going to chop them up on the miter saw, and then that will give me a rough length for each board, and from there I can glue up and then cut it on the table saw to one final length. On the miter saw I'm just going to shore up each board to the inside the waistline, and then we can start glue up. Now we have 4 relatively same size boards at this end. They're not square, my miter saw is rubbish, but they are the same size up this end, even though I will be trimming off this end anyway. So I've got my 4 wood pieces. All I'm going to do is take a bit of this grease paper and lay it out on the bench. So that when I glue up, it doesn't stick to the bench, and then, you know, if I've got lots and lots of glue, it won't matter. So all I'm using is Titebond 2. A lot of people say you should use Titebond 3, but this doesn't really matter because it's water resistant. It doesn't need to be waterproof. So whether you've got Titebond 2 or Titebond 3 doesn't really matter. Just don't use Titebond 1 because that isn't water resistant at all, and that will not go well with your chopping board if you are trying to do it yourself. you want to get a lot on there. Just make sure I've got a bit of tissue to wipe my hands with, because I'm just going to spread it with my finger. What you're going to do is just lay down your blocks and just stick them together. Now again, squeeze out isn't a problem at this stage because we're going to be sanding anyway. You just want to try and get these tops. It doesn't really matter, but I like sort of getting the tops sort of level. And then I can bring my clamps in. And just start tightening up. So we'll come back tomorrow and we will sand, we will cut, and we will put the round over on it. So it's the next day after clamping. I'm on a new camera, by the way. I'm using a DSLR instead of the GoPro and just seeing how it goes. So sorry if it seems a bit different halfway through a video, but let's just get on with it. It glued up really well, really strong joints. All that I need to do now is cut the sides down and then we can start sanding. Right, so I've got my new sanding pads. I'm just going to do all sides, sand it from 80 grit through to 240, 80, 120, 240, and then we can do the routing, one last sand, and then we can oil it up. For time's sake, I'm actually going to skip the sanding, but you get the gist of it. You sand all the sides, get the glue off, take the top down and move on. Right, so an important part about making chopping boards that a lot of people miss is raising the grain again. So what you want to do is just get a spray bottle and just lightly go over it and then wipe it in with a towel and just get it not drenched. So I finished all the sanding now. Went from the smallest grit I had to the largest. Now I'm going to put a round over on all the top edges and then we'll be ready to oil up. Right, so now I'm going to try and round over the edges. Let's see how this goes. So as you can see, a nice round over. I didn't want it too much, I just wanted a nice edge on it. So there's some burn marks just where it's too much friction, so all I can do is go back over with some sandpaper and take that edge down and just take the marking off. So I think I'll do that now. So what I've got here is food safe Danish oil. I just bought this at the same place that I bought the wood because it was easiest. So here is the finished chopping board. It's had 2 coats of Danish oil and it looks really nice and it smells it as well. It's a really simple project. It only cost me £20 for both bits of wood, so if you want to make one, this is a perfect gift for someone on their birthday, Christmas, Father's Day, Mother's Day. It's just an all-round good present. So please like and subscribe if you like this video, and be ready for the next project.